Welcome to Saturday versus Sunday. I'm John Barber, and with me is Jeff Dover, and we're talking some college football.
We're a couple of football fans that watch college the NFL. We hope to earn your like and subscribe today. This is our another review of the Sorsby case. What are your initial thoughts?
Well, I had different ideas like karma's a bitch or
hmm
the house always wins. I don't know. One of those was going to be our thumbnail, but
I like the house always wins one. For those of you listening now, in case you haven't heard, so Brendan Sorsby was sort of ruled not eligible to play in the NCAA. Then there was an injunction to let him play, and then he chose to leave with the plan to going the NFL through the supplemental draft. But then they just canceled the supplemental draft, so he's essentially stuck and can't play college or the NFL right now until 2027, is what it looks like.
yeah. And I think some people who thought he was sort of getting away with it and manipulating the system and in the just kind of lawsuiting your way through to get what you want
Mhm.
find this somewhat cathartic that he couldn't cheat the system. Cooler heads prevailed. Sort of everyone thought, except for one lawyer in the whole country, everyone
Yeah,
thought this was a
exactly.
slam dunk. You
Yeah,
bet on football, you bet on your own team, you're done. And there's a
yeah,
precedent for this. And this is what you were shocked when this. I mean, so was I, but we were both pretty surprised when this injunction came through, which
yeah,
essentially it didn't rule on the case. It just pushed it back so far that he was going to end up being able to play. So he was sort of getting away with it,
yeah.
and people were enraged. And I think, I don't think they're ever going to admit it, but my guess is he backed away because he thought, oh God, I'm gonna be a hated person in this country. Like I can't. There's no way to proceed. This is a bad look.
Yeah,
And but then again, applying for the supplemental draft, he still thinks he's going to get away with it, kind of. And the
I know.
NFL's like, not this year, buddy.
Yeah. Well, and it is crazy. Like you said, one lawyer or a handful of people at Texas Tech or the board or what, like everyone, there had to be more like a group of people that were okay with this. And and obviously the rest of the NCAA was not. And what is comforting as a football fan is that the NFL was really not okay with it either. So if you read the letter that they
Mhm.
sent him, which is pretty curt and really points out that like, you've provided no documentation, and this is a real core issue about betting on sports. Like it's a real, and so it was, the NFL really felt strongly about this too, which is good to see.
Yeah, I think so. And you're right. They were pretty short and to the point, saying
Yeah.
it's 3 days to the deadline. You provided basically no data, no explanation, nothing in your package for us to review. You didn't give us time to do our independent research.
Mhm.
And then the lawyers talking about appealing to the NFL Players Association, the collective bargaining agreement. You're not in the Players Association. You're nobody to the
Yeah,
NFL. Like
that's right.
none of that's going to work. And so I think the NFL just like, no, we're not bending over backwards for you. And probably somewhere, maybe not documented anywhere, somebody higher up the NFL is like, let's this all cool down for a year. If he's
Yeah.
a legitimate player, someone will take him next year, and all of this will be mostly forgotten. There won't be. I mean, a Super Bowl will have passed by then. Like so much will have happened that people
Mhm.
are like, oh yeah, isn't Sorsby that guy that whatever, and it just takes all of this the stain off of this if it lasts a year. And
Mhm.
I think so. That's probably my guess is something not written down but said behind closed doors with the NFL. Like there's just no
Mhm.
way we're doing this for this kid this year.
Yeah. No, and to your point, he's not an NFL player yet, right? So that is a really important point because some people might think back to a time where, Ray Rice literally knocked someone unconscious and that was a few games suspension, and the NFL has
Mhm.
looked the other way, like Deshaun Watson, like that, all the cases against him and what happened, so they're not above protecting their players regardless of what happens in the media or like for in terms of charges. So it's interesting to see them take such a hard stance against this. And I think it's both those points. I think it's the fact that betting is a core thing and they cannot have an integrity of the game be a problem. And the fact that he's not an NFL player now, which is why they're not supporting it.
Right. Yeah, they have no obligation to support him. They have no
No.
obligation to have a supplemental draft just because he wants to be in it.
hmm
So optically, this is the right move. I think in all cases, optically, it's the right move. for him to try to learn a lesson, it's the right move. For the public to feel like the right thing happened, it's the
Yeah.
right move. So and then all of the pushback from the Big 12 saying, trying to, at least I don't know how far it went, but legally saying we're going to ban you. We're going to attempt to ban Texas
Mhm.
Tech from the Big 12 championship game. Some teams
Try not to
said,
schedule them. Yep.
yeah, said they might boycott him. Then random schools who don't have a football game with them but might have other sports with them were saying we're not going to play against your other sports teams. Like this was bleeding into everything Texas Tech. So
Yeah.
one individual who hasn't even taken the field for this school is turning the entire school into the villain in all sports.
Mhm.
So it was just cooler heads finally prevailed here, or the right thing happened.
Hmm.
And now when I look back, I think this whole thing was because of one judge.
Yeah.
I don't
I mean,
think
it's what it
anyone else in
feels
the
like.
country
Yeah.
thought that was the right thing besides just one guy.
Yeah. No, and think about what you're saying too, is cooler heads prevail. That's the NFL. Like, since when are they the beacon of, sort of doing the
Right.
right thing?
Yeah.
And so,
Hmm.
but I'm really happy they did. Like, because this
Hmm.
does feel like the right move. Like betting on, we talked about this before, like betting on sports was a significant scandal and a real problem. Pete Rose, the Black Sox and baseball, like it's a really big deal. And so the fact that, like you said, an injunction and one judge thinks, that it's not that bad is really what it came across as, which, and then at least the NFL said like, no, it is. And we don't want any part of you, which was really clear in that letter that they wrote him.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, apparently he got paid some of his NIL from Texas Tech, but not all of it. And I guess
Mhm.
Cody Campbell's on record saying they're not going to attempt to get back what he was paid. So apparently it might have been about $1 million. So
Mhm.
he got $1 million for kind of doing nothing and potentially wrecking the reputation of a school. And
Mhm.
he still ended up with that money. It was just, it became really distasteful with the money involved, the lawsuits going back and forth. Like some people were saying this is like a turning point in college sport. Like if this goes the wrong way,
Oh,
we've
yeah.
entered a territory. We've crossed a line we can't come back from. And
Mhm.
I'm glad that it turns out we didn't cross that line.
Yeah, absolutely. The other thing I liked about the article that came out and was talking about this and saying like, he can't go back to college, can't go to the NFL until 2027. The CFL is an option. So that was interesting. That'd be, because it's happened before. There's players have come up mid-season, and are immediately eligible in the CFL. So I'm interested to see if any team takes a challenge. Now the season's already, for those who don't know, and judging by the ratings, you don't. It's the season is 3 games in right now, and so it'd be
Hmm.
really weird to join a team. And but listen, stranger things have happened with quarterback, right? So
Yeah.
someone gets injured or something. So that'll be. I'm going to keep an eye on that just to see if any team takes a flyer on him, because that's happened before.
Yeah. I mean, if somebody, I mean, it's not going to cost them much. I mean, the CFL doesn't have anything to pay anyways, but he could maybe gain some experience there.
Hmm.
I mean, and none of this is going to make it into Canada. Nobody's going to care about this story in
No,
Canada if he gets to play. People won't even know about this.
no.
But in the end, getting it back to the NFL, a year away from the NFL or college is probably the best thing here.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
to
so yeah, for best thing for what? For the NFL or for him?
both.
Yeah. We talked about that last time. Like him, because of how negative the reception this was and how everyone pretty much unanimously feels that betting on the sport you're playing is not good. This was going to be terrible for Sorsby if he played at Texas Tech in the road games and things like we talked about that. It wasn't going to be good for the NFL either, if he, and even if we don't even know if he'd be playing or not. So it really does feel like the best thing for him would be to, because he's gone to the treatment center, and
Mhm.
to get the betting under control. He can still work on football. He can still practice and train. It's the so, and because I don't think putting him in a situation this fall, like in a couple of months, where he could bet on teams that he's on, is not a good position to be in.
Yeah, he's finally paying for it.
Yeah.
Like, he had to pay for it, and this is it. He loses a huge chunk of whatever NIL he was gonna get. He loses a year of experience in college. He loses a year of his life of playing football, so he's not in the NFL.
Mhm.
This is kind of just the right thing. He needs to prove himself all over again. And he needs to, I mean, obviously he was trying to, it was kind of obvious he was just sort of trying to get away with it. Like
Mhm.
the lawyer's argument that it's a disease or whatever, and he's being denied. I mean, that was just all excuses for him to not face the consequences. So
Mhm.
for him to grow as a person and come out the other side of this, let's say rehabbed and or image rehabbed, like this is what you have to pay for it, and the public has to see that you paid for it, and you can come to the other side of it and people can accept him. Kind of
Yep.
like Michael Vick.
Yep.
Michael Vick literally did his time, and he
Mhm.
came out the other side. Now he's got a coaching job, and he was a great analyst, and now he's a coach. And like, the best part of the United States is the second chance. And if you pay your dues,
Mhm.
there is a forgiveness and a reacceptance that can happen. But you have to pay for the consequences. And that's, I think, why people were so mad about this. Is it looked like someone was really going to get away with it, and it
Yeah.
came across as the rich people who can afford it
Yeah.
can legalese their way or manipulate the law system to just get away with it. And that's the most distasteful thing that it seemed like was going to happen, but
Yeah,
thankfully it didn't.
and to your point, and all those examples, the second chance and things like that, which I also firmly believe in, what's a big part of that is like admitting you made a mistake. You feel bad about what happened. You needed to, and through all this, we've never heard anything from Sorsby, right? Like if there was ever a release was like, oh, I made a terrible mistake. This is never going to happen. I went to, that would be one, like that still to me, like I think has to come out later. Like I think that if he does get drafted in the NFL or does get signed by a team or something, like there has to be some sort of address of that, like that what he did was wrong. Like I feel like that's going to be, I think, a key part to being accepted again.
Yeah, I think by the time he gets to the NFL, if he does, he should have a foundation for supporting people getting over gambling.
Yeah. Oh
Like the
yeah.
Brendan
Yeah.
Sorsby
Huh.
get over your gambling addiction.
Yeah.
Like that should be his charity thing, or he should be leading that charge
Mm.
as another layer of the optics, and not just optics, but actually do it.
Hmm.
Be like, yeah,
Yeah.
no,
And
this almost destroyed my career before it even got started.
yeah.
Like, don't go down this path. Like, there's ways out of it, and don't make the mistakes I made. Like, that would be the true vindication if he got ahead of this thing like that.
Hmm.
And look, I'm getting through this. It was a big mistake. It almost cost me everything,
Hmm.
and try to guide the next group. Like you said in the last show, that he should be the one talking to kids around the country, like, don't do this because this
Yeah.
could go real bad.
No, and it was, and the only other thing that I was thinking about with this case too is that it feels like we don't know if he played for Texas Tech this year. We don't know what what his teammates would have felt like. If they're like if they wouldn't be happy about it either. Like I'm assuming they wouldn't be. That was the other thing that came from the NFL letter is that it really feels like they're more against it than the NCAA, which is really
Mhm.
interesting. Like they wanted no part of that with their teams, in their building, and so it really feels like it's just, again, it's just crazy that the NFL was more against the betting on your own sport than the NCAA. I mean, the NCAA did, ban him, but like it was just the fact that there was a way for him to possibly play in the NCAA. It just doesn't seem right. So
Well, you're right, but the NFL's buttoned up. It's got a CBA, it's got a players
yeah,
association. It's a
more buttoned
well-oiled
up than the NCAA.
it's a well-oiled machine. The NCAA is the Wild West. The conferences don't play well together. There is obviously there's no collective bargaining. There's no players union. I mean, the players aren't even considered employees. So
Yeah.
there's no unified voice. There's no agreement that was signed off on. If there was, this would have been a one statement thing about
Hmm.
the same way the NFL did it. But since there isn't, you've got local judges contradicting other local judges, then federal judges, then state
Hmm.
level judges, and the Texas, one of the attorneys in Texas was saying don't get involved here,
Yeah.
and then the conference pushed right back. So that was a good one for your mark, saying no, like, you're not going to tell us how to
Yeah.
run our business. But that's the point. really a Texas Tech state legal system and the Big 12 had to sort this thing out, but that was going to have ripple effects right through college football going across all different states. So, but again, we're talking just jurisdiction after it was just a mess, a total mess. It's not, we're not talking like the NFL's. You've just got the league and the players union, and they've already agreed on how it's going to go anyways. All they got to do is point to the agreement they both signed off on, and it's done. That's nothing like that in college. And if there was ever an example that college needs to button it up like the NFL, this was it. But I don't know how we're going to get there.
No. And I think if you're the average football fan in college, it's nice that we're not going to have to deal with the Sorsby thing, like Texas Tech, other teams, like, betting, watching those games, what happened. And I think that if you're the NFL fan, you also don't want the integrity of the game to be affected at all. You don't want someone that possibly is even betting on sports, for sure not their own team and things, so I think that from a fan perspective, I think this is really important.
Yep. It was just the right thing to happen. And at least we kind of got there a really bumpy way, but we still arrived at, this is the right thing. This is just the right thing. So, I mean, it's Will Hammond's show.
That's another,
do the right thing.
Yeah, we could put that on the thumbnail.
Yeah, so finishing off with Texas Tech, now it seems as though it's going to be Will Hammond's show. I guess once he's cleared to play and everything looks good, they at least have a 2-game runway until they run into Houston. Hopefully he's ready for Houston, unless one of the other kids steps up and they just turn out to be a revelation. So we'll have to see. Yeah,
it becomes one of the more important ACLs to rehab in college football this season. So
Yep. So we'll see. But I don't know. You got anything else on this one? I'm kind of glad this thing's over with.
No, I'm kind of glad it's over with. And I think your point, one of your earlier points was absolutely spot on, which is that this is going to be so much less of a story in 2027. Like in terms of regarding Sorsby, right?
Yeah.
Like if he ends up signing with the team, I highly doubt he'll get drafted if and who knows what's going to happen between now and then. But even if it's like an undrafted free agent or something, I really feel like it's going to be not much of a story at that point, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, someone's probably going to take a flyer on him because he still has the talent. I've seen a few draft analysts had him graded really, really high, so they can't resist the talent. But now he's going to be a lot cheaper to get their hands on. At least I think
might even be affordable by the Argos.
Maybe. All right, I don't know. I think that's it for today.
That's good for me.
Okay. Well, thanks for watching the video. If you like what we've got going on and you'd like to support us, a like and a subscribe would go a long way, and we'd super appreciate it. So for Jeff Dover, I'm John Barber, and that's your Saturday versus Sunday podcast.